Hello, myself Sunil R Nair. Here basically we are discussing about the one of the topic, that is city creation. In this basically we are talking about the this many times birth can happen, and this many times basically human basically will die basically. If birth will happen basically, then this many time basically. So one of the person told that basically. This is minimum basically. How basically this calculated, that I will tell you. Micros of blood cells is one blood cells. This blood cells basically got 35 words basically, and this basically can give 3150 age basically. That basically how it is getting calculated, that we have already discussed. So like Microsoft basically, this is there basically, this is there, this is of comes to like this. This comes to like this, equal to all above basically. So you can just imagine the calculation also basically. So that's why basically few people says that the Earth planet has created up to the certain level basically, that anything basically can happen, but mostly basically the Earth planet will never end basically. Generation can end basically, but Earth planet basically will never end basically. So that type of basically things basically are getting into picture. In this basically now we are going to discuss this basically, that is Earth planet target. Earth planet target is 90,000 year basically they have already done basically. So this they have already achieved basically. Few people basically is having 90,000 year. Now basically they are telling that basically can this generation can give at least 1 month. So they told that basically yes, basically they can give 1 month, and 1 month calculation basically how it is going to happen, that basically we have taken is, that is Ayodhya Ram Mandir basically say that basically they can give 7 days basically. So Ayodhya Ram Mandir means what basically? Ayodhya Ram Mandir means what? One person asked the question, Ayodhya Ram Mandir means what basically? So he told that Ayodhya Ram Mandir means that comes like this basically. That comes like this, that is this. Uttar Pradesh population is what, 5 crore. The neighbor population is 5 crore. Bihar neighbor population is 5 crore. Maharashtra basically how many Uttar Pradesh people basically are staying, and lots of Maharashtrian people basically are also Ram Bhakt and Hanuman Bhakt basically. So like this basically each and every things basically when we calculate, that comes to 7 days basically. So Ram Mandir group basically told that basically that are basically the nuclear power company groups, because nuclear power company only basically can understand this, what actually this is written. That comes to 7 days. So they are telling that basically 1 day basically contains 24 hours. Like this basically we can give 7 days basically. So you can just imagine basically the 90,000 year is there. They have to understand that thing basically. Then basically you have to understand universe basically, because this 90,000 age is going to connect to universe also. That thing basically they have to understand. Each and everything basically they have to understand. Then basically they have sent lots of missiles basically in universe for the space, and they have created lots of energy basically connected to the each and every population who are basically connected with this Jai Shri Ram group and the Jai Hanuman group. Like this basically each and every group basically has, like this basically many temples are basically already created, na? So they basically has created like this only basically, each and everything basically created like this only basically. So like this basically they can give the 7 days basically, they told that basically. So like this basically, this is basically also like this basically. So universe group basically is minimum is this, and they are going to get this age also basically. So this age are also going to calculate. So this age basically is going to connect to this age. So minimum year basically age is this groups this much basically. So you can just understand basically. So here basically we are discussing lots of topic basically simultaneously. So cities creation basically. 22 blood cells, 20% error. That basically is this all basically Microsoft basically just now basically we have discussed the Microsoft 3150 age basically they can give. That basically is not including this error basically. Or basically if they can say basically they can include also basically. But that basically is error basically. So that basically solution basically is also basically ongoing basically. And here basically if anybody say that basically how you can say the how you basically one education basically system basically can give 20% error basically. So one example they can give basically, that is a cake example. If you create the cake basically, any cake basically, normal thing basically, not only cake basically, anything you create basically in this world basically, if the expert cake group basically also, the expert cake group means the person basically who is preparing cake since 40 years basically, if he will also prepare the cake basically, he will add the ingredients as per the calculation, then also basically cake will not prepare 98% perfect. Reasons are there basically, that's why that are basically the processing basically, process keeps on happening like that basically, and your body also keeps on doing the process, that's why basically. So this error basically always comes as per you are creating. For example, previously MBA degree was not there, MCA degree was not there, BTech degree was not there, MTech degree was not there. After that basically this whole degree basically came after some time basically. They are also using, they don't have the space basically, right? MTech, MC basically, they don't have the space basically, physical space. They are taking the data from the certain level of groups basically. So like mbbs is there, they might be having the space. Why? Because space means idea space basically. The books basically are created. How basically the books are created, their data is going to come to the students basically. The students are going to connect to that energy basically, the books energy basically. So that basically how basically comes, that basically we have already saw basically. So 200 people error also basically is there basically, that also we have saw. And in this basically the Sunil R Nair story also we saw basically. And that basically is 11 parts basically, that is Earth planet has already divided the Earth planet into, Earth planet group basically has already divided the Earth planet into 11 parts. In this basically one of the parts is Asian part, and how basically that is divided, that will basically is another thing basically, that is basically we have already discussed. And this we will discuss in detail basically when sometime basically we will discuss this detail. It might possible that when we are discussing that time basically the Asian land basically might be getting divided basically, might be possible basically. 100% basically we can't say, 98% basically we can say that basically, like that basically. So cyber cell group basically keeps on giving punishment, blocks the resumes, blocks the mobile number, do the red sign of the mobile, do the red sign of the resume also, like this basically they do, they also keeps on doing basically, they also keeps on doing basically. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this all thing basically which we just now discussed.